Hello, Patreons. Welcome to another episode of the Hidden London Hangups just for you. Shepherd's Bush is the gift that just keeps giving. We gave the punters around the world something beautiful, but you are going to get even more. There's some cracking stuff here. Laura Hilton Brown, I'm going to start with you because you were skiing when we went, and I'm so sorry because you missed so many cool things. Great thing about it is you know so much about the tube that you can just interpret it as we go. But what a station so far we've seen.
Do you know what? It was super exciting and loads of layers to explore as well. My only saving grace is that I was traveling and exploring somewhere else, so I don't feel too sad about not being there because I hear that we might be doing tours there. So, you know, I have to go and do a site visit anyway. So I do get to see it. But obviously I missed it with you guys, and you are the trio of fun. So sad I missed it with you guys, but hopefully I will be there. I don't know, Sid, in the next couple of weeks, maybe we'll get a site visit, which should be quite cool.
It's all good. Yeah. I wish I could have shot to City quicker because do that stance again. Do this. It's so cool. It's so, the thing we love about the Hidden London Hang-Ups is because we're just so relaxed when we do it. It's so nice. It's like there's times I just want to sit right back like this with my book and do this. It's great.
You know, it is just, it's only because this is like a proper sort of reading chair. So it leans back quite a lot, but when I'm doing this, I have to kind of lean forward a lot, and it's not a natural position in this chair, if that makes sense. So sometimes when the camera's not on me, I like to lean back.
You're absolutely right. I do exactly the same with this seat. I'm sat right forward in order to be in the right position on the screen, and you do get to a point after a while, it's that your back's beginning to go. So anyway, by the time we do the hang-ups, it's a bit more relaxed. Mr. Nix, as always, perfect posture in your workshop. I love.
Thank you. I'm going with my author's photo on the dust jacket here. I just need the pipe in there for a prop. Fabulous episode. The fact that it's such a full, chunky, meaty episode, and there's more for patrons now as well. It's great. We've even got an object from the station to share with you after the photo. Lots to go.
Yeah. Say, Chris, you didn't have a prop, but you do have a prop for this.
You don't know me, do you?
No. I knew you would.
It's not in the case, Law, but I tell you, when you go down to do your site recce for the tours, just keep your eyes on the floor because there's some really cool stuff for you to find. We've almost left it there for you to find. I was actually thinking to myself the other day, if we had a dog with us, we could end up like Scooby-Doo because there's 4 of us and then we'd have Scooby-Doo with us. And I think there's 4 adults, weren't there? I vaguely remember there were 4 adults.
Scooby-Doo.
Happy days. So Shepherd's Bush, here we go. We did some extra filming just for you. And so let's have a look at it and then we'll have a chat about it.
Oh!
Sid, can you do me a favour and
What the
What?
This is CCE and HR Railway.
Charing Cross Euston and Hampstead.
Should we just do a little, let's do a little Patreon piece on that.
Yeah.
So, Patreons, a little extra courtesy of City Holloway and her powers of observation.
So, you know, we like to look into the inscriptions on the cast iron segments, and look over here. This is a Central London Railway station, but it says CCE and HR Railway, which stands for anybody?
Charing Cross, Euston and Hampstead Railway, which is the part of the Northern Line.
Yeah, why is that there?
But you know, this is the great thing about all of this, because we're looking at this, and this was one of the shafts at Shepherd's Bush, just in case you're double checking where we are. And it's just this melange of, nice word, Al. Yeah. There's one for your vocab book. Of different stations and things. We've had GPO around the corner there, London Transport Executive, you know, all these different things.
Using up a bag of parts, isn't it? I've seen it at other stations.
But again, when this station opened, the CCEHR didn't exist. Well, did, but not really.
I think I can possibly add some insight.
Oh, go on, do it.
Well, I believe I'm correct in saying, and I will be correct by the time I'm saying this back in the studio, at 1903, they added another 2 lifts.
So
they were different size lifts to the originals, way goods, I believe, 2 55 person capacity lifts.
Do you think this
And-
is
Hold
that
on,
addition?
hold on.
suspect.
What's in there?
I know,
What's in
it's
there?
almost like I've actually researched this one, isn't it?
So these are big lifts,
5
massive.
points for Gryffindor each, I think, for that one, surely.
Interesting, okay.
Wonderful stuff.
Well,
Because it
because-
does feel like a bigger lift shaft, doesn't it? It
Yeah.
does feel wider.
But that's quite interesting to me though, because even if it's 1903, the Central London Railway does not become a part of the underground group until
Indeed.
1913.
So would the different individual companies, would Yerkes, would he have gone, I'll give you a few bits of metal for your Central
Well,
London
they might
Railway?
have just bought them.
Exactly.
Right, so it's a trading
don't forget,
situation.
although they open in 1906, they were being built before that. So it's
Yes.
possible they just needed some, and they did, rather than do a whole order, they've just bought some.
Off them.
And
Yeah,
put them
from
down
one
here.
that actually makes much more sense than having
And money was
made.
tight, wasn't it, for the Charing Cross Euston and Hampstead Railway, wasn't it?
No,
they were
all right.
They were all right.
Because they had the American influx of
And the
cash.
American-
So basically, and they were flogging all their bits to other
But of course,
companies.
there is one other possibility, just
Go on.
possibility, which is don't forget from time to time lining rings fail and have to be
Yes.
replaced.
Yes.
So it could be that
That's
it's a
an-
failed panel
yeah.
that's been replaced. I guess the only way to do that is let's have a look at some of its neighbours.
Hmm.
No, there's another one. It's highly unlikely you'll have a whole
Yeah.
batch done. So
I
I
think-
think let's go with plan A. I think
Yeah.
they, rather
They-
than do a small order,
Fascinating.
They
they've
just
just done it as an overrun.
Well, but particularly when you think of the fact that in 1903, the CCEHR is being planned and built because
Yeah.
Yerkes takes over in 1902. He's put some money into it. They're prepping it all. They start building it.
And let's
this is
not
why.
also forget about the negotiation for these joining of forces happens long before
That's true.
the actual joining of forces takes
Yeah,
place. So,
yeah,
yeah, interesting, eh?
I
Very
love it.
interesting.
I
It's
love
Well, I
it.
think we
written
should
in
go
the
back
wall.
to filming the main show now.
Yeah. So, Law, there you go. I mean, this tour surely is getting more and more in depth. We now have tunnel rings from what is part of the Northern Line now at Shepherd's Bush on the Central Line.
I know, crazy days. You guys did some good exploring. But the best thing was when Chris introduced that clip and he was like, so, Patreons. And it made me think of his author status as well.
He does it so well. He does it so well. And the thing is, Sids, that station is just literally bleeding detail everywhere, isn't it? Wherever you go, there's loads of it.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, yes, I think that's exactly right. And I think the Central London Railway is so interesting. I think that, yeah, everything about that station, I'm really excited to kind of delve deeper into potentially researching this as a tour. So I think we've just discovered a true gem.
It's gorgeous stuff. Now, in the episode itself, in the Hidden London Hangout, you notice that we disappear into a little sort of side shoot and we say, this is just for the Patreons. Well, this is the bit that we filmed just for you in that area. And again, it's not for the public to see. This is just for you to see for now, okay?
You know what, though? There's another lift shaft. I think it's
Shall we-
the Patreons, I think.
Yeah.
The paying punters.
Let's go and have a look in here. Hello, Patreons.
Do you know, this has been the station that just makes you feel all warm inside about the stuff we do.
I haven't had a moment like this in a long time.
Yeah.
Properly
Genuine
fired up.
exploration because Sydney and I have done so much of the tube. Often what we do is we'll plunk down the camera, we'll walk in and we'll let Alex sort of vicariously be the audience and just enjoy it.
But to watch
this
you two
one,
doing
we've
it-
all come in here and
Yeah,
just had to
not
pick it
seeing
apart
it.
on the
Yeah.
spot.
Well,
And this has lit my fire better than anything
I'm
else.
really glad.
That's good. Well, we know that this is not a lift shaft though, boys, is it? This is a emergency spiral
stairs.
stair
Yeah.
shaft.
And you can see
And
it.
It's just like, it's got those chunky kind of rectangular tiles, or square tiles
Yeah.
really.
Well, they're this,
that
aren't
you
they?
had-
This is the size.
Yeah.
We had the same ones at Oxford Circus, if you'll remember.
Indeed.
And the really lovely thing about this is that we can actually see, in the shot, you can see the steepness of the stairs as they go up.
I think this is the bit where I'm going to have to do a bit of camera work and let the audience see what we're seeing. So let's just start down here.
Don't get giddy.
I'll try not to. So here we go. This is the line of the stairs working its way up.
But what's really cool at the top, Sid, I'm so sorry to steal your thunder, is this steppy roof. And that is because of escalators, I
Yeah, it
presume.
is.
now.
Our audience have now reach for the sick bag after that.
Steppy roof.
But there we go. I think I did capture it.
Steppy roof.
And that's when we started the show. If you remember, we came down the escalator and said, we are coming down through the old lift shaft. The other thing we've done by coming down the escalators is go straight through some of the old lift shafts.
That's it.
It's incredible.
And there you go. That's
And there it is, you got it. What a great station.
So
well done for
awesome.
finding it.
No worries.
And so much of it preserved, so much of it. And the good thing is for the Patreons, we purposely made sure we kept this bit for you because
you help us do what we do.
exactly.
And
You
we're
give us
very
a
grateful.
chance.
Thank you.
So
fab.
should we get back and carry on with the show now?
Let's
Yes,
do it.
absolutely. Let's do
Okay.
this.
Oh, wasn't that great though?
Super.
You can't believe what the Patreons get to see.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hope
Really,
you
really
enjoyed it,
cool.
patrons.
Really cool. So there you go, Laura. Another exclusive for Patreon, chunky tiles.
Yeah, I particularly love that bit. Do you know what's really crazy as well? Like, yes, the spiral staircase and your enthusiasm and excitement about it is palpable. Love it. But when you were in that section, it just struck me how, like, there's a real contemporary feel about it. It's very light and it's very clean, which is kind of the opposite of what we normally go into. It almost had like a little bit of a surreal kind of film set about it. Like it wasn't quite real because it looked so kind of new, if that makes sense. So now I'm really excited about taking people there because it's going to be so different to all of the tours that we actually have in our suite of program already. So I'm really excited. You're oozing the excitement over to me. Thank you.
You're so lovely because you three are going to be creating this thing that I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be doing the tours. Who knows? It's a funny old world, isn't it? But the whole deal with all of this and that actual location that you'll be touring around as people is part of a functioning system of ventilation for the underground. As we were talking in the main episode, air is brought in through that old bit, it's forced onto the platforms to ventilate the tube tunnels, and it's forced back out again through that grimy old bit that we were all searching through. And I love the fact that museums don't have to be dead and old to be working still. And you're creating a museum in a tube station, which is still serving a very, very useful and important function. I absolutely love it. Sids, again, I'm so blown away by this place that is hidden in plain sight.
I think, yeah, me too. I'm just really glad that you guys got to come and see it with me for the first time. I'm really excited for the possibility of doing something more there.
Now, Chris, I love it when you waft things in front of the screen that no one can see. You've got something in your hand. What have you got in your hand?
Well, I've got something which I found tucked away on the floor behind an object while we were filming. And it's a tile which has fallen off, but miraculously has largely survived. So it's quite a substantial part of an original Central London Railway tile, glass one. You can see just how thin these are and how miraculous it is it survives. You can see just how reflective it is if I catch there. And also if I hold it up quite closely, you can see where it's shattered, that it's definitely glass, and that it's, if I hold it against my shirt, you can see just how kind of sharp it is. The other thing which I hope you can see there is something which I got very excited about when I saw this tile, because this is the best example of a tile that I've seen which shows the keystoning arrangement on the back of it. This tile, I can actually, can you hear that?
Yeah, it's like it's pitted, isn't it?
It's sand on the back of it, which is what keyed it into the cement, which is why it stayed on the ceiling of the station for so long. And it's very rare to get one that you can see all of that on it. It's just beautiful. I'll also add thanks again to Jennifer for the amazing American wipes, which cleaned that up back to almost brand new levels of cleanliness. It's amazing.
And talking of tiles, Chris, and Laura, this is for you because you're our little tile queen. When we started doing these tours and look around places, I was never really, I know it sounds awful, but my observations are generally quite elementary. And I was a little skeptical as to how bright and reflective glass tiles could make somewhere that was quite dim. Only when we saw them, Laura, hanging on the floor and cleaned them up a little bit and then shone a light off them, did we realize how much light is reflected off a glass tile? It's completely different to a ceramic tile.
It's crazy. To be fair, tiles blow my mind. So I was mocking Chris before for not having a prop, and then he wields that one out like the prop of all props. How thin was that tile? I don't think I realized that they were that sleek and slender. And then I was leaning into the screen like this because I was trying to see it in more detail. But on that reflective side, I mean, it's like gloss and sheer. It's amazing.
And it really does reflect the light. That is the incredible thing. And speaking of tiles, as we were wandering out of the station, one of us spotted a bit of plasterwork missing. And bearing in mind, this was a station that was done up in the 1990s. It still looks very lovely, actually. But there are some places where, you know, you get a bit of water ingress and you get a change in the plaster. Something falls off the wall and it has to be touched up. There was one bit, when we saw it, we couldn't believe our eyes. Take a look at this.
Well,
there you go. Old
Mr.
meets new.
Scrumpton, you get the observation award this time.
So we've got the original Central London Railway tiles that have been very, very finely plastered over a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then you've got these are very historic. These are Pilkington. Or possibly Tops.
But it's
I'm not
so
sure.
nice to see these things bursting forth, isn't it?
And it must be said, the only reason why this is because, of course, we are in the underground, which is inherently a very wet place. It's just us passengers don't normally see it, unless you see that.
And isn't it funny, under normal circumstances, you'd look at that and go, someone's got to clean that up, but almost you'd want to leave it.
Leave it. I'd almost put a frame
Yeah.
around it and make a feature out of it.
Great.
And that's why, patrons, you should always keep your wits about you on the tube.
So obviously the most important thing that you saw there was ET in the calcium law.
To be fair, I hope I haven't ruined it for everyone, because that is a very special tile moment, but I couldn't help it. As soon as I saw that picture, I just wanted to go, ET, phone home. But what I love about you three is, or the four of us when we are together, but you three especially at this moment, is that kind of just looks like someone's lobbed a bit of dirt at the wall and there's some peeling, you know, flaking paper. But no, it's a really crazy special tile moment, and I'm glad you captured it.
What I think is really interesting as well, and I mean, I know Patreons, we're kind of preaching to the converted with all of this, but there is an awful lot of content out there online made by a variety of different historians, experts, wannabe experts, everything else, funsters, I don't know. But the thing that I love about these episodes is that we've got a bit of space to let it breathe. And a lot of people, perhaps creating short form documentary style material, wouldn't even spot that because they're running around too much filming. And we actually just drift around these places, having a proper look, and then do a bit of detective work. And for me, that's what makes all of this so worthwhile. And to me, it's the difference between a bit of telly and museum curation. And I'm such a lucky boy to be part of this world that these three experts all occupy. So it's wonderful stuff. Thank you so much. Can I ask one favor, by the way, before we go? I just want to see Jack, that little Jack, one more time, Chris. First of all, Siddy, thank you so much. I've said it so many times. Thanks for opening my world to Shepherd's Bush and actually answering questions that I'd had in the back of my mind for so long, and I never imagined that I'd get the answers.
I know. Well, you know what's fun is I posted on my Instagram a photo of the part of the island platform of Shepherd's Bush, and so many people were guessing that's got to be Clapham. That has to be one of the Claphams. So I can't wait for people to actually see this and explore it with us, because it definitely looks like one of the Claphams.
It's fab, isn't it? And Laura, I mean, you know, again, mind blowing. And by the sounds of it, we've just trebled your workload by coming up with a new project for you.
Yeah, cheers for that, Sid. Went away for a week, came back. My life is just about to get chaotic. Alex, you just gave me a little bit of a lush moment then. You used two words in your very eloquent synopsis a moment ago, where you said that we just let things breathe and that we drift around these spaces. And I genuinely don't think any of us could have put that better ourselves. I think we do. We just let things breathe and we drift. And I just thank you for that, because they were actually really good words to describe what we do.
Love you, babe. And Chris Nix, star turns, really, as stations go, it really was gold standard, wasn't it?
Absolutely, very happy to go drifting around that one with you guys. It's I can't wait to go back and have a little look. Actually, there was a lot to process, and I'm particularly glad to be able to bring this one for a proper share of that exploration with our Patreons.
Fantastic.
And I get to go soon. I get to go soon.
She gets so excited. We leave you today with the last word from little Jack, who has decided he's got a whole new catchphrase. Have yourself a great day and stay safe.
Everybody